good afternoon, good evening, and good day. Good morning to those of you on the West Coast. We made it on time. We're not actually ready yet. So let's see. My screen is over here instead of in here for some reason. There's stuff here, but it's not what we need to look at. The notebook consists of items in here. We'll fix that in a minute. And the next side stream is not started. Usually I do that first. So let's tell the computer stop messing with the screens. Put them back the way they were. Double check the audio. Then we're gonna have ourselves a fun little stream here. Let's see how it goes. Display brightness. I'm gonna display arrangement. Where did you put it? Okay, so the laptop, the big screen, with the glasses. Okay. Now we'll look no, arrange. There we go. Stop moving stuff. Oh. It was in the right spot, but they lowered it. It's supposed to be in the middle, so I can just go off the edge of the big screen. And they put it in the middle, or at the bottom, rather. So, the glasses still off. Raise this up just a tad. Thank you. So now, at the very least, you guys be in front of me. There. Woo, that's better. I've got the glasses on clear. As clear as it'll go. What that does is it makes it using the big screen really difficult because it overlaps with where the camera is. So now I'm hearing like a weird, echoey, shadowy rub. So alright, so I still hear it, but the system doesn't. Islander says I can hear you on YouTube on my Android. I go to X on my Apple. X video is working, but X chat is not, so I need to fix that. Good evening, Anders. Good to see you. Also, Happy New Year's to everybody. Happy New Year, Anders. Happy New Year, Islander. And sound like I'm underwater. Do I still sound like I'm underwater after I click the buttons, or did you say that as I was clicking the buttons? While I answer that, I'm going to make sure that the video is correct on this other screen. I don't see it, so what I'll do is I'll just borrow one. Content. Yep, got it. It's definitely a live stream. Not using the internet. And then I think this is one of the days to get the chat correct, or if it's not got the chat correct, it has it correct. Look at that. So now we'll go back and we'll see what the feed, if you see the is like. Okay, here. And connects to I guess we're correct. I guess it's live. Alright, so now moment of echo. That sounds terrible. Turn that on. Then we're going to try and sample it again. Oh, I'm hearing the server. Let me. I'm wondering if the either I've changed something or if it didn't load the right profile or what. I can go to that device. Decent floor. I think it's going to 0 even though this stuff is happening. So this is definitely all happening inside the studio. Oh, son of a gun. It's using the microphone on the stupid laptop. I'm talking to you and I'm hearing it good. And nobody asked for their help. Just do what I always do. You said loaded what I loaded. Not you made some stuff up. Is this thing being run by AI? All right, let's try a sample now. And ooh, it's like butter. Thank you. uh, wow. So what you were hearing before is what it sounds like in this room to my laptop, without any noise gating and filtering and ooh, ouch. I thank you for sticking around through that nonsense. Woo. All right. Okay. So now let me find this device here and get the X chat running so you guys can talk back without having to be on screen if you don't choose to. Because, if you want to do the end friend things, you can. Or if you want to do the first time caller, long time listener, that's also welcome. All right. So let's turn this on. The button used to be here. Now it's here. Because remember, I swapped the other one out because they gave me a phenomenal deal on it. And it's dead. It's only been unplugged for a day, so I don't know what it was chewing on. Not a good start. Come on now, give it the program. Oh yeah, it says start me up. Oh boy. All right, so I've got something more high power for you because this little charger you're running on isn't gonna do what you want. Where are you? Oh, good, you're free. 80%. It's at 80%. Why do I need to plug it in? Come on now. I'm still going to do the other cable though. And now it's booting. All right, so X will be ready in a minute. The X Spaces, the X video is, like I said, already running. And excellent. All right, so the first thing I've got in the notebook, I don't have any sources for it. I saw a video clip of the new Tesla Semi charging port on the refreshed model. Remember, I had the question of, are they still going to use MCS2 or are they going to switch to MCS3? Because the rest of the industry is going to MCS3, so are we going to have another situation where they are on a different plug than everybody else, and then everybody has to conform to them? And what I saw in this video clip was the refreshed Tesla Semi is using MCS3, and the easiest way to tell is it went from that weird oval, long rectangle shape to a triangle, and the triangle means MCS3. And I'm gonna look for photos or video for you in just a minute after I get the X side chat going here. Let's Bluetooth. Are you happy, Mako? She's happy. She's just holding the cord. Thankfully, she's not trying to eat the cord like normal. All right, yeah, we're gonna Bluetooth to the video mixer device connected for internet and calls. Okay, and then we're gonna go to X. Hopefully X is up to date enough that we can start it. Because I'm not trying to do an update at the moment. Elon stirring up some people that you don't want to associate with in real life. New Tesla ad just dropped. Tesla autonomous from top to bottom. Cybercab order now. I don't think that is a real ad. For one, it's the wrong color for the Cybercab. 2, it's got rear doors. 3, those are Cybertruck inspired wheels on it. I do wonder what people are saying about the thing. If you see 14.2.2.2 is starting to roll out. Good for them. I saw somebody mention us old hats, and they're still on track for trying for the end of the year. You should mark this as satire. I was excited for 2 seconds. I don't know why you would think that's even close to real. Yes, hi, baby. Okay, this thing is hard to hold like this. I need to get some more space cleared on the desk and maybe put like a recipe card holder stand thing for it. All right, we're gonna go back. I'm gonna go to plus. Yeah, I know I'm live. We're gonna go to plus. We're gonna go not now. We're gonna go to plus. We're gonna go to spaces. And then what's this thing called? It's called Let's Chat with Kacey and Friends. We're in January now, not any of those other months that you're trying to suggest to me. Not James. January. All right. 4th. Baby, you don't need a Brother P Touch tape. Take that from you, the easy tape. Thank you. All right, and we will record the space, but we won't allow anonymous. Sorry. Still less disruption that way. We'll start our space. Who will join? Oh, Slimy there. Slimy and Scott. And is Robert on there? Oh, there's Islander and Robert. All right, so we're going to send. And oh, I made it go away. We're going to unmute ourselves. There we go. And when one of them arrives, we can promote them to moderator, which should help with some of this distraction because, the junior moderator here, she is not happy with me. All right, I'll put this phone on the phone charger. And then I think we should be ready to find some videos of what I was just telling you about. Okay. Yeah, I know. I'm just not sure which one you're still using. YouTube is lagging X by 30 seconds or more. I don't know why they do that. It happens worse on my computer. And on the phone, sometimes the phone is like spot on. I don't know. They're on the same connection. The app must be using different feeds or something, but it doesn't matter what resolution I pick. All right, so now we've got this one going. Let me make it smaller so that I can get another window on here and still see the chat on the corner. There we go. And which browser are we using here? We're using Edge non-beta. So I need to find one of those. Hey, that's Edge non-beta. But it's got Dad's computer in it. And I need to not have trouble finding that when I get off here so I can finish and get it delivered to him. What's this one? And that one's Edge non-beta. Oh, it's got Bjorn in it. All right, so we're going to do new. And we're going to go to... let's go to x.com. It's going to be easier. And then we're going to look for... I don't want to make a tweet. Wow. Wow. Mr. Zelensky said some stuff, and he didn't miss the mark. All right, let's see. Oh, and Denmark is saying, don't touch us, bro. My goodness, we've ruffled some feathers around the world. And I was going to comment on this. I was going to say, hey, look, all this strife because of we like to dig in holes in the ground and take out the goo and burn it when we could be, putting out flat collectors or wind turbines and getting the sweet, sweet sunshine juice and not fighting wars over energy. Alas. Let me see what this guy from Denmark is saying. Oh, and the reminder about at the end of it is that Greenland is part of NATO. Ooh, we have ruffled some feathers. And all right. Sorry, that's distracting. What's up there? All right, here's an interesting one. I like and respect Elon, but I'm grateful to be on this platform. But when he claims that XChat is more secure than email, I feel obligated to explain the technical reality to my audience. I'm curious if Elon's just talking here or if Elon is zoomed in on some metric, like zoomed way in, because I get the same feeling as this guy that is not a fully realized statement when he says something like that. Let's dig into that. Oh, Elon replied to him. Oh, is this the guy from Signal? Is that why? Signal is controlled by the woke mob and went offline when Amazon Web Services went offline. Do not trust Signal. Elon, I don't think that's how it works. Because just because the platform went down didn't mean that anybody got into it. All right, so this guy's points are X can read your messages. Maybe, I don't know. I'd have to see the code on that one because it is encrypted with a pin. Signal safety numbers work because your key never leaves your device. I don't know. Like I said, I'd have to see the code on X to know. No forward secrecy from X's own documentation. If the private key of a registered device is compromised, an attacker will be able to decrypt all the encrypted messages. Okay, I'll give you that. That doesn't make it less secure than email, though. One key compromise exposes your entire message history. Signals don't branch it. Juicebox vulnerability. X stores your private keys on their servers using a system called Juicebox. Photographer Matt Green suggests that this implementation is software only, lacking hardware security modules. That's not good. A 4 to 6-digit PIN does not protect this. This is trivial to brute force if X or an attacker with server access disables the rate limiting. Yes. Full metadata exposure. X explicitly states that metadata isn't encrypted when you who you message, when, and how often. Former NSA director Michael Hayden famously said, "We kill people based on metadata." We sure do, actually. All the time. Signal uses sealed sender technology. I do sort of agree with Elon on this. If he hadn't made it into a Signal ad, like if you just said what was wrong with the X system as a constructive criticism, he might not have that knee-jerk reaction. It's not open source. X promised to open source XChat and publish a white paper in June of 25. Neither has happened. Like I said, Elon can't tell time to save his life. Not using a second-hand stopwatch, not using a yearly, decade-long calendar. Let's see. Bottom line, not saying don't use X. I'm saying don't use X encrypted DMs for anything you wouldn't post publicly. I do think that is probably good advice at this stage. And then Elon, just rips into the dude about Signal. Spotted model. He's got a lesson from David Moss on how to get the truck to back in all the way at the supercharger, how to disengage when it stopped 3 feet short. Another way to do it. This ends the FSD streak for today. Okay, so he's trying to do what David Moss did and do. So David Moss has done, 10,000 miles fully FSD, coast to coast for one, and then I thought that was pretty cool. It sounds like something where, especially after watching his interview with Kyle, where it would have been, oh boy, or it would have been more of a hassle than I would like. So what happened here is I just accidentally clicked a button while scratching my nose, and the button has pushed you guys up and to the left, so that I could do tasks while having something to reference, like a work order ticket or some instructions while I solder something or something. I don't know. Any number of reasons why you'd want a floating video feed, but also to have the rest of your vision not obscured. All right, I put you guys back, but now you're free floating. So you follow my head wherever I go. Gotta find the camera now, and lock you in place. That wasn't it. Oh boy. I anchored you, but you're crooked now. That's really weird because as I turn my head, it's still crooked. That should give it more of a reference as to where straight is. Popcorn. Oh, she's sleeping. Woke her up. I got myself an egg and bacon sandwich. Here you go. Bye-bye, baby. Okay, thank you. All right, so I will be stealing bites of my food on you guys. And I'm not yet sharing anything on screen. I'm aware of that. But the audio is part of it, right? So now let's... one request to speak. Uh-oh, tablet, don't scratch my real glasses. And there's Scott B. We're going to invite the co-host. Did it work? Yeah, it did. Space Cowboys here as a listener. Welcome. And we've got... Oh, yeah, so I was looking for the semi connector and talking to you guys about the David Moss. I thought that was pretty cool, the way he's gone FSD everywhere. It sounds like the kind of thing I would do if I had it, that level of dedication and just too much, but Thankfully, mine doesn't do that, so I never got into it. So we are going to look for Tesla Semi and see what happens in the news here. What? Tesla UI examples. Car thinks the semi hit it in the garage. Okay, so we're probably gonna end up with a news source just because of this. Oh, I spelled Tesla without an L. That's how. There. And FSD split second save, rare win for mainstream media. CBS Austin covered the story of Clifford's life being saved by Tesla's full self-driving in the Cybertruck. Happens to me 2 months ago in Mexico. A car couldn't overtake a semi-truck in time, and FSD swerved out of the way, saving Clifford's life. All right, so we're gonna share screen with you guys. Share screen. Background audio screen. And come on. Yes. Tesla Semi. Yes. Come back and rearrange the view so it looks like I usually have it. All right, so yeah, split second save. And now it's so much easier with the update that you can prove if you were in FSD or not, because it will it'll show you on the data stream.
He was making any progress. It was getting so close. I'm traveling 75 at the time. I tried to jerk it, and already car was moving.
There was no room for error. An overcorrection would have bounced Clifford's Cybertruck off the guardrail.
And I tried to turn around, and FSD must be kicked in. Quite frankly, I don't remember what I did and when I did what.
Here it is, slowed down, and multiple angles. He says FSD surgically maneuvered the Cybertruck out of a potentially deadly head-on collision.
I'm confused with this one because that is a white line. Unless that's yellow. If that's yellow in the middle, then that makes sense. Like it's just a 2-lane road. But color rendering is terrible here. That's got to be yellow in the middle. It doesn't seem to be the same color value as the whites on the edges. So it's a 2-lane road. So somebody did a really crappy pass. Oof, I've had a couple of those. I've got a video of one that I need to pull out of the file and share with you guys. Your morning semi. Okay, thank you. But it's not the one I want. Tesla Semi Factory making good progress. Here's the stamping shop now. That was July of 25. All right, so we're gonna go to one of the news sites. Let's go with Drive Tesla Canada. Darren's usually pretty good at this. I spell the words correctly. My mouse is dying. I had it charging this whole time. Nothing worse than using a wireless mouse with the cord attached for an experience. All right. Tesla misses Q4 delivery because I was going to look into that and I didn't actually care about the actual numbers, so I didn't. 9 million cars built. We talked about that on Tesla Life. That was pretty cool. Canadian province territory license plate paint shop. Cybertruck outperforms all other pickups. We talked about that. Starlink offers free internet in Venezuela amid political transition. I do like how they are always there when something happens with Starlink and the supercharging and the Tesla energy. Although I don't think they should be in turmoil right now. Tesla loses global BEV sales lead to China's BYD after 7 years at the top. Ouch. Norway finishes a record-breaking 2025 with 96% new car sales as EVs. Woo! Good job, guys. Enhanced. Let's links to sales stuff. Starlink emerges as a candidate for U.S. Special Operations Aircraft Comms. I hope they mean Starshield and not Starlink, but we'll see.
Starlink to lower the orbit of 4,400 satellites to reduce space debris risks. Interesting. As you guys know me and Litter, Tesla eyes higher Giga Berlin production in 2026, supporting Model Y deliveries to Canada. But I'm specifically looking for the Tesla Semi refresh. So let's keep going. Leasing for Model 3 and Y standard. Q4 energy storage record with 14.2 gigawatt hours deployed in Q4 2025. I did already want to talk about energy storage today, but not from Tesla. Kind of here at this building I'm in. Rivian reports 15% drop in production and 18% decline in deliveries. So somebody tried to say that, oh, Tesla's not failing because Rivian's going down too. I don't think that's a good metric. It does say to me, though, it's not just a Tesla thing, as some of these people try to frame it as. It's either the whole car industry, which means the economy at whole, or EVs only, which a certain group that is digging in the ground for stuff to burn up would be happy with. Real eggs, fake bacon, and cheese. Delicious. All right, that was David Moss there. We're talking about his coast-to-coast drive.
Hey, good morning, good afternoon, Casey.
Hey, good morning. How's it going?
It's going great. I just had a big bowl of menudo, which is a Mexican dish, and it was pretty good.
Awesome. What's it comprised of?
Menudo is the beef stomach.
Oh.
Yeah, and it's served with as a soup, and it has a lot of seasonings, kind of like a bowl of chili.
Right.
It's similar taste, but a little more spicy.
Okay.
And it's basically just a cow stomach or beef tripe.
Kind of like the way they prepare pork chitlins in the southeast U.S., which are pig intestines.
Sounds like Mexican haggis.
Yeah, like that. Haggis too. That was pretty cool right there. Tesla files to expand the rental service in Michigan. Boring Company launches Vegas loop rides to Harry Reid International Airport. That is really cool. I don't see anything about the Semi in here, so we will try. I'm leaning to the ones that do more Tesla stuff than just the general EV, so I can be assured that they'd carry it. And Darren missed this one. So we do Teslarati. I hope I spelled it right.
Are you hosting a show?
Yeah. Yeah, so let's chat with Kacey and Friends. I talk about what's going on in the world, energy, EVs, saving money at home for various ways like gardening or home batteries and solar. I'm a weird, eclectic dude, but that's where we are. So
okay, yeah, we have similar interests.
Excellent.
I live about maybe 20 minutes away from Starbase.
Oh, awesome.
So yeah, so Elon moved into my town.
Yeah.
So we're pretty lucky. So I am actually going to be driving by the Tesla lithium factory in Robstown.
Nice.
Just south of Corpus Christi. It seems like they're almost up to full production on site. The last time I checked, I think they're at like 50% production. They started, I think, like maybe 3 months ago.
Yeah.
And from what I read on Tesla.com, I think they will be at full production by the end of this year.
Okay. That's good, because anything to bring the cost of these batteries down will bring the cars down, which means that we'll get more of them on the road, right? And then the home energy and the grid energy, we really need that as well.
Yeah, so what I'm looking forward to is I think it hasn't been released yet, is the the $55,000 Cybertruck, I think, which will be the two-wheel rear-wheel drive version.
Yeah. They had one,
So
and they've got the dregs are on sale now at the stores, but it wasn't quite what people were expecting. They took too much out to get the price down. They removed the vault. They just took a lot of stuff out, and so I think that if they were to take another whack at it and do it where it's just two-wheel drive without taking out the stuff that's unique to the Cybertruck, I think that they would do better than what they did on that first try. I mean, because if you look at the Model 3 standard and the Model Y standard, they also take a lot of stuff out of the cars, but they don't feel like they are not part of the family, Whereas this other Cybertruck they made, it doesn't feel like a Cybertruck.
yeah, I think from so it's the base model Cybertruck,
Mm-hmm.
which I think it's going to go in production this year, probably late this year,
Mm-hmm.
and it's $50,000 after the savings on fuel.
Excellent.
Fuel versus electric consumption. So I think up front it's 60. Is it 65,000 or 70?
That sounds right.
So it's still kind of high. I hope it would be 50,000. Up front, and for a basic, even if it's only one motor, one electric motor, rear wheel drive, I would be happy with that. I like the size of the bed.
Yes.
So I could have a lot of use for it.
Yeah, my wife and I were talking about it the other day. We actually really need one for her business pursuits that she's going after, and then of course for our HV Nomads project, whenever we get back to that, we'll need the extra towing capacity over the Model X's abilities.
So do you know about, like, one thing that didn't make sense to me is that the base model has a lower range capacity than the top one,
right?
And it has the same battery size, correct?
Right. The previous base model, the one that they canceled, I think the reason that one got a lower range was because it didn't have the tonneau cover. It had not a manual one. It is you could buy one after the fact, like a leatherette piece of crud that you can buy for any truck, and you had to flip it in place yourself. But because that's an accessory, they had to rate it without it, and the truck was built to be have a nice aerodynamic armor-crate box at the back. So that, I think that hurt.
Yeah, it seems when you look at the Cybertruck website that the miles, the range is way less compared to is it the dual motor all-wheel drive?
Right. And there's another trick they can pull with the dual motor is, and they've got this on my car because I've got the P100D. So the rear motor is huge, and then the front motor is small. But they could be the same size, same motor, and they could do what they're doing with the Tesla Semi, and each motor could have a different gear ratio. And so what they can do is, on mine, I haven't seen this on too many others, but on mine, I've actually got a double bump in the efficiency curves. I got one that goes up to right about 45 miles an hour or so, and then I've got a second one right about 75 miles an hour. And that's because it transitions from the rear motor to the front motor at about 60.5 miles per hour. And then the front motor is much smaller and geared differently, so it takes over even when towing. And then at that point, the rear motor only helps out for climbing hills, or if I ask for a lot of power on demand.
Okay, that makes sense. That explains why the all-wheel drive having a better gear ratio would be more efficient.
Exactly.
Than the single powered one.
Yeah, and they could do something similar with the tri-motor, but then you've got to overcome the weight of the extra third motor, and also the fact that it's usually going to be at a diagonal if you only use one instead of both of the rear motors together. But on the Semi, all three motors they do the whole axle, so you don't have to worry about it being cattywampus like you do on the truck and the two cars. All right, so here I found Simon Alvarez has posted a link to the video that had the charge port that I saw in passing. So let's see. Tesla Semi is gearing up for high volume production 26. That's this year. Derek, good evening or good afternoon. Derek Ludwig. Greetings, Kacey and Friends. Happy New Year. Okay, these developments highlight Tesla's ongoing efforts. Revamp Tesla Semi sighting. Tesla Semi advocate Heinrich Zane, who's been chronicling the progress of the vehicle's Nevada factory, recently captured exclusive drone footage for a refreshed Class 8 truck at the Megacharger stall near Giga, Nevada. The white unit features a full-width front light bar, similar to Model Y and Cybercab, shorter side windows, cleared fairing area for an additional camera, and overall the Semi looks ready for production and release. The sighting marks one of the first real-life views of the Class 8 truck. Its updated design with most improvements such as potential 4680 cells and enhanced internals being hidden from view. All right, so Zangler has a X post, exclusive refresh Tesla Semi, full video coming soon. And then Tesla Semi has their own video. Let's click watch on X just because I want to make this full screen for you guys. Zangler asks, was this the yesterday at the Westside Megacharger at the Giga Semi? And Dan Priestley says, no, this is another site. Those chargers at the factory are 1.2 megawatt capable. Oh my goodness, this is a nice thread. But first, like I said, we're going to switch. I'm going to hit watch on X, and hopefully it opens a new tab. Okay, good, it does. And we're going to switch you guys to the tab with me. And we're going to hit pause on this. And then we're going to make this big. Yeah. We'll read what it said later because I've already clicked the make it big button. All right, so right here, what you're seeing on screen is an MCS3 port, and it's on the Tesla Semi. Tesla Semi used to have an MCS2 port, and I'm hoping that rather than throw away the old trucks they've already made, that they just retrofit the charge port onto the old trucks, and then just let them work out their retirement life cycle, because MCS2 and MCS3 do not offer AC charging standard from the factory. Doesn't mean that Tesla won't offer AC charging over the MCS port, as we have seen with the NACS port. It is AC and DC in one. There are enough pins to do it, and if you have your vehicle electronics ready to deal with that, aside from not being standard, there's nothing stopping them from doing that. Yes, it doesn't make sense day to day to charge such a large battery via AC, but if you've got a trucker who's able to take the car, or take the car, who's able to park at home in between their runs, that can be the difference in where they start their shift from. If they have to go start at a Megacharger, then go pick up a load, versus they can go straight pick up the load and then they just take an early lunch. That can make a difference. Or imagine, you're in your 3 days off. You've got an 80 amp charger at home, because that's all it's legal for a AC EVSE at the moment is 80 amps. You got one of those at home. I've got one, and you just get the right adapter from NACS to MCS3, or NACS to J1772 to MCS3, or even just a native MCS3 but AC. I don't think that would be wise to have it native, though, because no other truck can take AC, and so you'd be putting AC on a DC port, and it would be like we saw with the Tesla LFP packs, where they do the AC to warm it up. So yeah, the truck would have to be willing to accept AC. So the reason that we've already discovered that the capabilities are the same. The reason I was so concerned about MCS2 versus MCS3 again was I didn't want them to have one port and then have a charging network with that one port, and the rest of the industry be on a different port, and then we have to do the whole charging port conversion thing again, because that's not helpful. But it looks like before they go fully public with the units, they've gone ahead and done the new standard. And they explain why we'll go over that as well. So let's look at the video real quick.
15, 16, 124, 193, 271, 351, 430, 525, 628, 738, 851, 981, 1111.
Oh, yes, nice.
1206. Woohoo!
That's 1.206 megawatts. Woo. That is a lot of power. And you saw in the first couple of seconds, it just managed to go past what everything else in their fleet can do. And then it got to the theoretical limit of Cybertruck. I say theoretical because that's what they limit it to today. I think that truck, maybe not fully megawatt, but I have a feeling that it could do probably 500 to 700 kilowatts easy. But they're, just hold it a little close to the vest a little bit.
Hey, Casey, have you ever tried running a video space and mirroring your stream onto there so that we could see without having to jump into the X Live?
I don't know how to do the spaces with video, but yeah, that would be interesting. How to
If it might be only available on iOS for your mobile phone. Then you just give it access to the camera right in the same place where you start up a space, and it'll give you the option for video. You have to enable the camera.
Oh, so let's see.
So then you could screen mirror your multicast, and we would be able to see it on there.
I will look into that because I do have the iPad just sitting here waiting for me to tell it what to do. Unless this is the case where I don't think this is something X does. Where you know how some people will make their iPad and their iPhone apps do different things, which I think is stupid. I mean, I understand some places it makes sense, but other places it's like, well, if somebody wants to use the iPad for something that's better with a phone, that's on them. Pop up a warning or something, but don't stop them. Not everybody can afford multiple multi-$1,000 devices, and now with the RAM crisis and storage crisis because of the AI data centers, things about to get expensive in computing world. I got some RAM end of last year for like $200, and then I saw the same RAM in Best Buy for like $1,200 at the like right around Christmas time. I was like, oh gracious, I wish I could afford to sell this, but then I'd have to replace it. Arbitrage that mess. But yeah, so I will take a look at the iPad app after this. I'd do it now, but then it's going to say you're already casting. Do you want to switch devices? Yeah, if they could all be video feeds, that would make this easier. Okay, let's see what Dan and the crew had to say about this video, because that is exciting. 1.2 megawatts. So I ran the math, and this morning we were drawing, we had 17 kilowatts going into the car, and then we had 30 amps times 2. 30 times 240 is 7.2 kilowatts times 2. I had 1440, so that's 14.4 kilowatts plus 17.2. I'll use my parentheses on these. It was 240 today. Normally I'm at almost 250 volts at this building, but it wasn't participating for some reason. Oh, I see. 17,200. Because one of them watts and the other was kilowatts. So 30 31.6. I think I was near the building ceiling, wasn't I? That was 31.6 kilowatts, and the building is rated for 200 times 240, 48 kilowatts. And let's see what it normally rides at. That's 246, not always 250. And it can spit out 49.2 kilowatts at its regular voltage. And that was one of the things I wanted to talk about. Why I put a small building against the side of the power grid this morning in just a moment. But let's finish talking about Tesla Semi, and it's 1.2 megawatts. Would love to see a charge curve. My best guess at Tesla Semi charge curve, based on data I've seen, he put this out New Year's Eve, and 1.2 for, oh my goodness, 15 minutes, 1.2 megawatts. He said about 14 minutes. And then smooth taper to 75 state of charge in 35 minutes, 850 kilowatt hours usable. Yes. All right, so at the end of the charge curve, it's down to 400 kilowatts, only 400 kilowatts. With an average of 947.1 kilowatts. So based on this, then yes, the truck will be ready for you to go massive distances by the end of your mandatory 30-minute break, and it'll be have been waiting on you for a long time at your other break. So that is cool. Based on what data, this would be pretty incredible, holding 1.2 for 14 minutes. Reviewed a load study Tesla made for utilities that included a permit pack. 1.2 with a 900 kilowatt hour pack would be 1.3 C until 50%. That's not unheard of with Tesla. Islander's asking, anybody bought anything off of Temu? I have not, but I've seen a lot of advertising for it. And can't wait to see this one in person. Yes. And I think that once they get some more experience with this is when they'll start to uncap. I'm assuming that they'll uncap the Cybertruck. And why do I assume that? If you look at everything else they've made, except for the 4680 Model Y, very few of them, they actually, yes, even that one was just it just wasn't much to uncap on that one. But they as they get more experience with the batteries, they tend to let them loose a little bit. And I think that at that point was when we'll see the Cybertruck get up past 500 kilowatts. Assuming that the site is, a V4 site and, V4 native and is, not overused. Let's see. Let's go back to his chart here. 1.2 original Nissan Leaf can do something like 1.7 C with its 24 kilowatt hour battery from 0 to 50%. I wasn't trying to click on I was trying to highlight. Am I correct or am I missing something? Brandon's correct. Those are not good numbers. What? Not good numbers. 1.2 megawatts for 50%? 1.3 is easy. This is a vehicle they haven't really released yet. And when they uncap that one, they say, hey, every semi on the road today can now get, we've cut another 10 minutes off the charge cycle. What? Come on now. Seems fine considering the use case and mandatory breaks that the drivers need to make. Even if it could charge faster, the drivers can't move their trucks until the brake timer runs out. What am I missing? Exactly. Thank you, Lawson. Autonomous trucks. Okay. Who cares about the autonomous trucks for this? By the time the autonomous truck is running, they'll have the data, and on the same pack, they can get them up to 1.4 or 1.5. I doubt they're going to do 1.7, but they could. Hardware doesn't need resting periods, and a full charge needs to be possible in scenarios like quick container swaps at ports, which usually take less than 10 minutes. I don't. Even if it was autonomous means that you can go slower. Autonomous trucks will already be double productivity due to no sleeping periods. An extra 10 minutes on charging session every several hours isn't going to make significant difference. Thank you, Lawson. 24/7 autonomous truck with 500-mile range, charges 3 times per day at highway speeds. With 30-minute charging, it sits idle for over 3 weeks per year. Faster charging cuts that to less than 1 week. Autonomy kills months of downtime. Slow charging brings weeks of it back. I see what you're getting at, but at the beginning of this, we're not going to be micromanaging them that tightly. And when trucks are truly autonomous, in 10 years, we can solve that issue too. I don't think it's going to be 10 years, but yes, I agree with Matthew Guilty. We will be there before this happens. And this guy says 10 years, and then he shows a Chinese truck that appears to be running autonomously. Spinning. I can't read the words. Like, not only are they blurry, but I can't read the language. Then they go through, and there's nobody in the seat, nobody in the cab at all. Not that we haven't done that here. Happy New Year, Shelly. Shelly and Travis. Good to see you. Happy New Year. And Derek says update on the Model 2018 rear-wheel drive. Model 3 hardware upgrade. Yes, I got my car back on January 2nd. You're exactly correct about the version they would install Hardware 3. Yep. And then what I'm hoping is that they'll bring us back in for like a version 4 Lite or something, and that they don't just give us 14 Lite software and call it a day, because that would be somewhat disappointing. However, the car is hugging the left markers on the lane, not what I expected. I suspect with this is down to whichever version of FSD you're running, because I had a couple versions of FSD that would hug the left, and a couple that would hug the right, and it doesn't do that anymore, thankfully. I don't know if that's going to be up to map data or what's going to fix that for you. Yeah, so this is exciting about the 1.2 megawatts. And in a minute, I will tell you guys about why I was leaning almost 20 kilowatts against the grid this morning. Was it almost 20? Over 20 kilowatts against the grid this morning. Almost 30 kilowatts against the grid. Let's go back to where we were. Would be weird for a Tesla. Not normal for a Tesla. All right, what is he responding to? I don't get it. So 1.2 at 1,000 volts, roughly. Yeah. This would be impressive if true. That looks reasonable. About 10x the Model Y. Your graph makes it look bad because of the truncated y-axis. Yeah, I could do it. So let's go back to what Tesla was saying here. Commercial transport, Tesla semi. 1.21 gigawatts. Almost. It's 1.21 megawatts. Doc told me to perform a camera calibration. It could be that, but the cameras are supposed to be self-calibrating the whole way. My car's had 3 calibrations in its lifetime. It had the original one when it was on hardware 2.5. Then it had the next one on the new hardware when it got hardware 3. And then it had one in the early fall of 25, because whatever happened in that update, it lost the calibration data, and so I had to do it again. Like it would not FSD or autopilot or autopark or anything, because the tables were corrupted. And so I told it to do it again, and it came out nice. But because it's supposed to be always doing it is the reason I don't just willy-nilly go and do it. And I would hope that if your cameras were dirty, like the ones on the glass, that they would have already cleaned it when they put hardware 3 in. But you never know if somebody was skipping steps. It won't hurt it to calibrate it. It's just, for me, it feels like a waste of 20 minutes. And then all the electricity. And you got to drive by hand. I hate driving by hand. That's not entirely true. I love driving, but I don't like that kind of driving, like in traffic and just errands and stuff like that. Let me do something else and sit here. What an amazing accomplishment. I wonder what the charge curve looks like for this. I was hoping that we'd get that original thread again. Let's see. Can we go back? We cannot go back. So let's do this. Let's go. The one where he was applying his angler, I suppose. Let's copy the link. Paste and go. Hey, there you are. There's no words over your camera lens. All right, so no, this is another site. So semi-factory chargers are 1.2 capable. Capable, but not actually 1.2, he says. In fact, they went somewhere else. Tells me a little something. It seems like the plug is different. We'll have two types of charge station for a plug for Tesla Semi and Cybertruck going forward. Lots of learnings from the original Tesla Semi and the connector involved, ever evolving. There was another one where he replied and explained that, not him, Priestley, explained MCS2 versus MCS3 and why. Now put a modified battery in a Cybertruck and race it in the mods. Let's go to Mr. Priestley's replies and just do it that way. Just show the redesigned Semi. Our customer's going to love it. Was this yesterday? News from Sawyer. The redesigned Tesla Semi has been spotted for the first time ever. There's the light bar. Now let's make it bigger for you guys. He got this as a clip from Zangler. No stand hole. Okay, it uses just a bigger version of the V4 dispenser. There is the Mega Charger, the V4 native charger, and this was a lot more equipment behind it, probably because it's running the 1.2 megawatts per stall. I'm seeing one charge head though. I see a lot of dispensers though, and they don't share. Well, they're not supposed to. Unless they just put more equipment behind it and share that way. Interesting. Sorry, I'm looking at the equipment. I should be looking at the truck. All right, so we got the... I don't know what's up top there. Is that an antenna or more cameras on the fairing? We got the triple lights there, the light bar. See the FSD camera up top, not at the bottom. We got the side repeater cameras. Running boards. Looks like the running boards aren't powered this time. They're not running the super singles. They're running dualies. The mirrors look different. The rear looks a little different. Yeah, they've definitely done a lot of little tweaks to it. And I'll be... it's got fresh tires on it. Look at this. It's got the paper still. I'll be curious to see what they tell us is different when they put them on sale. Or if they even say. They'll have to give us new ad material, so we'll be able to decipher that. Looks like they changed the rear lighting. Looks more like a regular truck now. Yeah, they did. Those are just regular old lights. Yeah, probably LEDs in there, but I did like the light strips that they had on the original. Of course, I guess if you buy one, you can change it yourself. Let's see. Is it still in the same place? It's pretty far back in the cab. Same place, yeah, right in front of the driver's first dual. Yeah, same place. I don't know what that is in the fairing though. Like a Starlink antenna, maybe like a Starlink Mini, or some cameras. I'm not sure. All right, let's make this smaller again. Show more. Increase payload capacity to what? Because it was already maxed out at the 82 with the bonus. 1.7 kilowatt hours per mile, 15% improvement over old Semi. Designed for autonomy. So it's a hardware 3 to hardware 4.5 situation. 500-mile range. I don't think that the 300-mile range one is either happening anymore or or in this series yet, because they haven't talked about the 300-mile range in a long while. Unless the 500 is the short one now, but I don't think that's the case. That's significantly better than before. Whereas 500 was what the other one could do. Derek says it's raining here, so I need to wait until it clears up before I perform this action per the instructions. Yes, I would not want to calibrate it in the rain because I'm in northwestern California, so the weather improves on Wednesday. Hey, there you go. The side windows don't go as far back. 800 kilowatt drive power. So that's the same as Cybertruck, right? Yeah, that sounds like the same as Cybertruck. Silver anti-slip diamond traction strips on the side steps. Okay, so the running boards are different. Not just me noticing that. A lot more under the skin improvements. Volume production starts in the first half of 26 with customer deliveries around that time. Telosif says also features MCS. It was already using MCS, but now it's using MCS 3 instead of MCS 2. Yes, Dan says the connector on the prior semi was an early version of MCS 2. I didn't realize it was 2.5. MCS version 2.4. Not proprietary, as anyone would have used it. Anyone could have used it. We couldn't wait for final design to have greater than 1 megawatt capability, so we ran with what we had been developed, or with what had been developed thus far. New semi has the latest MCS that is set to be the standard, MCS 3. Before counting down the new year, count up to 1.21 megawatt charging. Is this be exclusive to the Tesla semi-specific charging site? Dan says no, as long as upstream feed is at least 1.2 megawatt capable. Is this on a V4 supercharger with the MCS plug on a V1 semi supercharger? I think most of that is true. Let's see. Semi charger is a V4 system. Semi and passenger cars leverage the same cabinet and post design with minimal differences such as cable and connector. Common components and assembly line mean lower cost, greater reliability, and aligned field service. So wait, so the V4, yeah, it is actually, isn't it? It's not a bigger V4, it's just a regular V4 with a different handle. All right. I need to finish up that video from Manning. I'll do that after I work on Dad's computer. Where'd he go? This confirms what I've been speculating in my refresh semi video. So Megacharger is the same except for cable and connector. Wasn't sure if we were still calling it Megacharger versus V4. So common V4 PEM, but different output and plug depending on the application. Why do they have different handles? Why not use NAX? Because the NAX can't do 1.21 megawatts. The MCS3, what did we say, is capable of 3 megawatts or 5 megawatts? It was a lot of megawatts. It wasn't just one. While NAX can only do megawatt. It can do 1 megawatt and that's capped out. Awesome. Would love to see the left and right NAX CCS setups on electric trucks. More power. Okay, let's go back. Here. Adapter to allow NAX or CCS in a pinch. That would be nice. As far as I understand it, MCS uses a different communication interface. MCS has dedicated pins instead of PLC. A simple passive adapter might not be possible. Yeah, but this is the same company that made us the NAX to CHAdeMO adapter. Or the other way around, CHAdeMO to NAX. Either way. You can have it not use all the pins and have it fall back to the PLC. My mistake. Thanks for clarifying, Dan. Can't wait to see more semis on the road. Is an easy retrofit for existing trucks? That was my question. Existing trucks are all prototype, more or less? Sure, but I'm sure customers have paid for them. Yeah, customers have paid for them. Is what they tell us. Let's ramp them. Will FSD come with FSD? They will come with FSD. But a better question is, will they come with FSD included? Like, at no extra charge? The answer's probably not. Out of curiosity, will Tesla be retrofitting the current semi-fleet and charge infrastructure for customers? I love the final design. Don't you worry, people will confuse it with windrows. No. No. I mean, there's similarities there, but no. Next semi, aka J4400 one day, referencing a J3400/2. What? MCS3. All right, let's see what else he's responded to here. And then his replies. He gave it the eyes on the spy shot. And matching outfits for the family. Merry Christmas. They put Santa hats on everything. From the cyber cab to the sexy to cyber truck, robo van, and the semi. And even Optimus. Optimus is wearing a little Santa hat. Commercial vehicles will go electric faster than personally owned vehicles. Yes, because it's money. They're starting later, but their owners actually care about cost per mile and ton per mile, where EVs have a larger advantage. And vehicles that drive more miles per year save even more by going electric. Yeah, cost per mile and ton per mile, plus your maintenance costs fall through the floor. Any chance you can tell us more about the semi when the hell it's coming in mass? Volume production next year. Just quoted himself. Economic ROI per mile and wear and tear being sufficiently beyond the realm of what we regulate to variance, even when it isn't actually variance. The reduced maintenance cost is a real chunk of this. Reduced payload is a big concern of this. It's not a reduced payload, though. It's better payload. Particularly for larger commercial vehicles, the batteries right now are too heavy to warrant reduction in payload. For cargoes that are weight limited, yes, though not forever as batteries get lighter. Many cargoes are volume limited rather than weight. Hopefully somebody has answered this because I don't feel like stepping in it. The other limiting factor with today's battery technology is cold weather significantly limits range. Solid state batteries should solve that, but they are a good 5 years away. Oh my goodness. Thank you, Derek. Appreciate it. Wow. Solid state batteries should solve that, but I think that these folks aren't familiar with electrics. Even volume limited have weight restrictions. I have a friend that has a company that delivers gasoline, and he looked at this a year ago, and the weight was a showstopper. I agree that once batteries get lighter, it changes the equation. These people don't know electrics. EV semis are already capable of weighing out, of grossing out today. And most heavy mining equipment is electric drive. Even if it's diesel powered like a locomotive. But many of these are all electric. For reasons like being inside the mine shaft. Heat, spark, etc. Heat, spark, gases. But Sparks is not plural, Mr. Grammar Checker. Spark is singular the way I'm using it. Electric drive. There we go. And starting in China, almost a quarter of heavy-duty vehicles sold last year. Almost a quarter had a plug. Curious, how did you try and calculate the long-term costs, including fuel and maintenance between them? Yes. Meanwhile, in China, are they using multiple of the GBCs? Seems like they could use MCS3. They are using multiple of the GBCs. Oh my goodness. It's not a ship, it's a truck. Come on, guys, just pull MCS3 into your network. 3 GBC. Oh my goodness. That's like having 3 CHAdeMOs. Or not CHAdeMOs, CCSs. Although they are CHAdeMO shaped. That's excessive. First plug is exclusively for pack cooling, according to China EV. Dual gunning trucks, triple gunning is now arriving to the market. You need MCS3. You shouldn't have to connect multiple plugs to the truck. Caveat here, though, is the counterpoint. If commercial vehicles don't go electric faster than personal vehicles, then the math probably showed that cost reductions were not as strong as advertised. Derek's a rock star. Yes, indeed. Thank you. The maximum legal weight allowed for any electric semi-truck, Class 8 or tractor-trailer combination in the U.S. is 82,000 pounds gross vehicle weight. Yes, exactly, because you get your 2,000 bonus pounds. You get your bonus ton. And since the Tesla Semi is already doing that, I think Kenworth is doing it. Mercedes is doing it. I don't think they're all doing it well, because most of the competition is trying to keep you local, but not all of them. Volvo's doing it. So I don't. Freightliner's got it. I don't see why they think they're weak. I mean, just because you see them on golf carts doesn't mean that electric can't handle it. About 700,000 e-buses globally right now. Yeah, that's another point. More important, most of them have consistent daily cycle. Yes, the other part is, like, as a business, you already have an idea of what you're doing, like day in and day out, or at least the style of what you do. So it's even easier for them to go electric. You and me underneath the tree, Cybertruck. Oh, sweet. I didn't see this. I mean, I did, obviously, because I heard it already, but I didn't remember this. There we go. That's better. I didn't remember this. And after what we saw last week with the Rivian and their Christmas set, I bet you this is sold out. Let's go on a side trip. $404. Sorry about that. So it sold out so hard they removed the page from their shop. Why not both? I wonder if these are being bought for the kids or the parents. Tesla's released a semi Cybertruck wooden playset for $60 US. That's not terrible. I didn't catch the price on what Rivian was doing, but for a small run, or especially if there's anything hand built about it, these sites will become more common as Tesla plans on building 46 Tesla semi truck stations by early 2027. Tesla semi chargers are capable of 1.2 megawatt charging speeds. And Dan says, semi chargers located at customer sites and dedicated to fleet are not part of the station count. Great. That means that the Pepsi site is not in there. These are all public sites. So you'll be able to cross the lower part of the country through Texas from California. You'll have to find a way across Louisiana, Mississippi, and Alabama to get to Georgia. And right up there near Michigan. And was that Illinois? Yep. And it's only going to be more. Reno and Veterans Day Parade. Those are always fun. All right, so let's get back on track. Where were we with that? the inside of the V4 charger / mega charger, and Semi can drop into freight lanes with no compromises at lower operating costs, with Uber Freight matching shippers and carriers, removing revenue utilization and uncertainty. EV adoption will accelerate as operators realize the cost and maintenance benefits Semi offers. All right, let me take a swig of this drink. All right, so we talked about the truck. We talked about how politics, not really politics, but current events around the world involving force have been driven by oil. Hi, Mom. Good to see you. I need to call you after the show. I did get your message, and then I woke up late. So we'll talk real soon. And so we talked about the oil wars. Then we're going to talk about now my home battery system and why I leaned up 20 kilowatts against, almost 40 kilowatts against the grid this morning. So with my new electric rate for this place, we get a discount to 25%. Like the cost is 25% between the hours of 1 a.m. to 5 a.m. And then depending on the season, basically it's time of use. Depending on the season, it's 4 times the price for 4 hours at part of the day, depending on what season we're talking about. So in the wintertime, it's between 6 a.m. to 9 a.m. And so what I've been doing is I just charge the car, run the washing machine, run all our battery charging from 1 a.m. And everything is able to charge at 1C or more. And so they're done charging by the 5 a.m. And then for the smarter devices, I have them on a schedule where, so for the 120 volt circuits in the house, except for one of the rooms, I have them set to switch over to the home batteries between that period. And then you used to see me do this, like I'd keep them at 80%, and so you'd see me switch over when the solar got high, and the goal was to kind of just ride out any power outages. But right now, the place is still on battery. One of them's at 39%, and the other's at 59%. And the reasoning for that is that, one of them gets filled by solar and the other doesn't. But it fills up at quarter price electricity, and then definitely rides through the 4-time price electricity. But then whatever's left in the tank might as well run out the full price electricity as well. And I have them set to stop at 25%. So that way, if we do have one of these righteous power outages, there's still enough left to carry through the outage. And then I'm thinking probably want to get some more, just roll out, throw them out emergency panels for the second stack of batteries, one that's at 30% right now. And thinking just, keep an eye out on the used market and get some used ones. But they don't need to be new. But first I want to see what this first bill looks like with the new strategy. And then I found on the washing machine, it's a heat pump washing machine, so it runs on a 110 circuit, 120 circuit anyway. But it's hard to beat quarter price. So I found it's got 2 features. It's got the smartphone control feature, which I had it there, but I was confused because you set it up and then you push play. And then I heard the pump drain. I was like, oh, that's not what I want. But what it does is it does the drain, and then it waits for you to push start in the app, which I still never figured out how to make the app say go, but it might be after that drain period. But then I found the schedule period. You go through the menu, start in 1 hour, start up to 24 hours later in 15-minute increments. Well, you do your hours, and then your minutes are 15-minute blocks. And so then I started that one, and it started draining the tub. I'm like, well, it is what it is. And it stopped and waited. It said, we'll start in an hour. I was like, okay. So that's probably how the smartphone works as well. And maybe the interface doesn't show it until it's at that wait period. So I set it off to do a self-clean of the tub, popped in the chemicals, and said, all right, start. It was at midnight. Start in an hour. Actually, it was before midnight at first. I said start an hour 15. Then I had to go back and watch the tutorial from GE again to see, like, what am I doing wrong? Why is this thing not blinking? And so then it was an hour later. I hit start in 1 hour, and then got a little notice on the app as I was off to sleep. It says timed washing starting now. The wash is finished, and then the wash has been done for 60 minutes, and you haven't opened the door. You don't normally get those messages for the self clean, but I think using the timer switches it back to as if you had clothes sitting in the washing machine, waiting to take out and hang up. It's a heat pump washing machine combo, so you don't have to. You put in you put in dirty clothes, and then you take out dry clean clothes, whenever you feel like it. And I felt that matched our style, and then just as the two of us, it did. But then you add in the kids, and it became even more of a good fit. So you can just literally just like you can be on your way out to go do something like grocery shopping or taking the kids somewhere, bringing the kids back from somewhere, and let me throw in a load. You just throw it in, and I've seen people with two. I guess they have bigger families, or they just can't wait to get all their laundry done on a single day or something. And so you can do two. If you already had a washer and dryer, you can do two of these. They take just if you put them on a 20 amp circuit. If you're putting two of them in, if you're on a 15 amp circuit, then they each need their own circuit, and they don't need any venting. They do need the hose, but if you had one of the we had a long time ago, we had one of the little pedestal washers, so you could do like delicates or really small loads under the washing machine, drag it out, put it in, and put it away. So that one had like a weird combo for the drains, and then that same one had like a steam feature for the dryer, and so we actually had like a triple tree going into the drain. And so you use something like that if you use two of these things, but we're not that fancy, so we just had the one unit in there. Now we got back the space of a dishwasher or one washing machine, but really tall. And it uses way less power than the dryer, because the dryer is what, 30 amps at 240, and now we're at less than 20 amps, 220 or 120, sorry, and it's a heat pump too. So not only are you being very efficient with that, you're not taking, if this thing was inside the house, you're not taking any conditioned air, heat or cool, and then throwing it outside, which you are with a electric or gas dryer. The gas especially, because you need to eject the fumes. But on an electric dryer, you're still taking that same volume of air from the chamber and throwing it outside, because you got to get the lint out. That's the other part is I would say there's no lint cleanup to worry about, but it's got the lint trap, and ours is an early run where the lint trap is not very good. So you're also cleaning lint out of the coils with a long brush occasionally. But any of that lint is not ending up in your walls, ready to burn down your house if you forget to clean it. Because if you don't clean it, then your drying efficiency goes down. Instead of being done in 2 or 3 hours for the whole thing at the most, then you're looking at 4 hours, and then you're looking at like it never dries, and then let me clean this out. Versus, when was the last time we snaked the dryer pipe, and then we'll get to it next week, and then this family's house burned down because the dryer was full of lint and they didn't do their maintenance. I'm not laughing at anybody that happens to. I'm laughing at that in this scenario it can't happen anymore. It was humorous to me. So the heat pump, in addition to not throwing out your conditioned air, is already more efficient than a straight resistive heater. Resistive heat is 100% efficient, but because of the coefficient, the heating coefficient, you're actually able to multiply that effect with a refrigeration cycle, because you're condensing it and expanding it over here. It's physics, and I love heat pumps because of the fact that you can get over 100% efficient. You put in 1 unit of electricity and you get out 1.8 units of heat, 3 units, 4 units of heat, depending on how efficient your system is. And that's how you can do clothes drying on a dinky 110 outlet than where it used to take a whole 3.3 kilowatts to make it happen constantly. And because of the heat pump, it does cycle. So you'll hear the fan going all the time. It's a huge fan. Because for this model, the engineers determined that it's really the blowing the air that gets it done, and the heat pump is really just there to condense the water out of the air. They do use the heat directly a little bit because they make dryers, but the older version of this, I think they called it the condensing dryer. It was just a dryer, and they didn't actually care about the heat. They only were trying to get the water to condense out of the air. And so this one does both. It condenses the water out of the air, and it applies the heat and the giant fan to the clothes. So it's also really quiet. I wouldn't be offended to work next to it during the drying cycle. During the wash cycle, it's a little distracting because you got the swish. My microphone filters it out because the server's there. But you got the swishing sounds and then the thumping, and it's fun to check in on, but not fun to work next to because it's distracting. But it's in the garage, so it doesn't matter. But if it's in your house, you don't have to worry about it throwing out all the air that you just paid to heat up or cool down. So that part is nice. And the car charging, that one was just a no-brainer. In the car, there's a setting for when you want it to charge, to do delay charging, and with the latest update, you can set it to when it happens. And Mario's got a Kia EV9 now. Congrats. I've been watching a bunch of people with the Hyundai Ioniq 5 and the Kia EV6. And so that's a bigger version of it. I've seen the gas one of it, and that one looks nice, and that's a good car. Congratulations. Is that the one that you had the New Year surprise in, or was that a different vehicle? And did they get you the extra $20 for the New Year surprise? Mario and I used to run Uber together, among other things, and he sent us a picture of somebody who earned a cleaning fee. And they earned that cleaning fee, but the detailer told him it was going to be about $20 over what Uber does. Everyone loves it when I do Uber. They can't believe it. Excellent. Yeah. With the X, the first year I had the X, it was in the Uber fleet, and people just absolutely enamored with it. Excellent. All right, so that with the car, it's a no-brainer to set it to charge during that period. With the latest update, they have the schedules are per GPS location, just like with the height adjusting suspension is per location. So I can have it set to, this is when it's cheap at my house, this is when it's cheap at grandma's, this is when it's cheap at dad's, this is when it's cheap at mom's, and then I don't have to remember and swish and shift. And on the old one, you could suspend the schedule, or you'd have to make a new schedule for each place that there was a schedule, and that was less than efficient. And so now you've got all that computing power, just use it. Unfortunately, yes, someone made a mess in the car. I was surprised to see they paid full price of the receipt. Oh, awesome. Excellent. It's good to hear because as we talked about on the Tesla Live show, there were riders and drivers trying to take advantage of the system, and so Uber got a little more strict about it. But I guess it's hard to argue with a receipt, and it's only $20 off what they were doing. So do the right thing and just cover it, right? And it sounds like they did. I'm glad to hear it. Yeah. So then also we've got we talked about the plug. We talked about what people do in pursuit of oil. Oh, and we're still talking about scheduling the power consumption. So that covers the car. That covers most of the household loads. Now, if you had a power wall, that would be much easier to set up than what I did. But I don't have my power wall at my house. It's at my dad's house. So, again, I'm using EcoFlow for this, but I could have done a home battery, or I could have done any number of situations for this, like a hybrid grid and off-grid inverter, or any number of things like that. Basically, as long as you aren't feeding power back to the grid, you don't need to get their blessing. If you are feeding power back to the grid, then you have to get that recertified. And I don't want to recertify what I've already got, because who knows how long we'll be in this building. Mario says currently my EV can get up to 400 miles on a charge. Not bad. Must be extremely conservative while driving it. Yes, indeed. So you can hook it up so that if you put it in the middle of your loads, you can do either like a manual transfer switch, or you can do what EcoFlow calls the smart home panel. Version 1 lets you do per circuit. I don't know how version 2 and 3 do that or not, but with them you can take the whole covered loads, take them straight off of the grid, and not have to worry about the 4 times the price period. Or more importantly than even that is I guess it depends on where you are, is the periods where there is no incoming power at all from the utility, and here that happens too frequently and for too long. But I wouldn't say that the power here is unreliable. And then for us, being in a hurricane zone, that was another concern. Hurricanes, and then if we were just a little bit over and we were in a tornado zone, that would also be something I'd be concerned with, although it's a little easier for them to recover from that. And I guess if I was in an earthquake zone, I guess I am technically in an earthquake zone, but if I was in a place where people were more afraid of earthquakes, I would also be wanting to do the same setup. Thanks. Reposted the stream. And so with that ability to energy arbitrage, what I'm hoping to see is that the bill will drop, even though they are not paying as much for electricity as they were before the new year. And now the electricity cannot unwind the gas bill. We still have some gas here. We have the water heater is methane powered, but it's on demand. So the only time we should be burning methane is when we're washing our hands with hot water, taking a shower, cooking, or doing the dishes or the laundry. The other cool thing about the laundry with the heat pump is you can put in tepid water and it'll be able to crank it up if your electricity is cheaper than your gas. I don't know if there's a way to program that now, but I'm sure there'll be some enterprising engineer who will go in and hack it together if it doesn't already exist. So nothing to worry about there. Next, we haven't done this yet just because the temperatures have been kind of in the shouldering areas. But what I'm going to do is pull in by 10 degrees the range that I keep the thermostat at during the, not during the hours, but to cover the hours of the increased cost. So right now I just kind of keep it in heat cool, and since the heat pump now, it's even less stress on it. But so what I'll want to do is allow it to get colder in the wintertime than normal, and hotter in the summertime than normal. So actually, during the 4-hour period, I want to push it out. But in the 2 hours before the 4-hour window, I want to pull them in by 10 degrees to force the system to actually run. so we can coast over the 4 hours of the break. But like I said, the reason we haven't done it yet is the shouldering temperatures. It's able to just run once or twice a day and keep the temperature. So there hasn't been an incentive to deal with it yet. But if I find that it's trying to do it during the expensive period, I will definitely change that. Happy New Year, Lee. Good to see you. Happy New Year. And I know it works because the very first time I saw the system handle this on its own, they had just implemented, I think they call it rush hour with my system. The very first one it did was when we had that last total eclipse here. What was that, 2018, 2017? Ours ramped up for it. It said, all right, there's going to be less solar coming into the grid. So what we're going to do is we're going to recharge your building. We're going to drop your temperature by 5 degrees. And we're going to be ready an hour before the eclipse. And then we're going to watch everybody's thermostats and see what effect that did on the thermostats. And we're going to talk with the utility companies and see what that did to the grid. And obviously it did well because we've had like 6 rush hour events this year where the utility has requested my system not be running. It already wasn't. And I don't think they would have continued that if it weren't working for them. So I will take that and use it to my own advantage by, I don't know if I'm going to do scheduling or if I'm going to teach the home controller what to do with it. We've already got it right now where we added a hole to the side of the house where there's an 8-inch fan in it. And if there's any burning with cooking, or if we are doing my wife's maker studio and we make something with the laser, and that makes noxious fumes, poison gases, or if we're doing anything with exotic plastics in the 3D printer, those ones you'll want to do by hand anyway, but just turn it on. But like with the cooking, that just raises the PM 2.5 in the room by a lot. And so if you singed a toast or forgot something a little too long on a burner, the home controller sees that, says, hey, these are too high, and then it just opens the fan. It's supposed to also turn the fan in this room up a little bit because I've got filters on it, but I think I have a typo somewhere in the code because it does not, or I have not heard it adjust for that, but it might just increase the pressure. And so since I've already got it on, it might have determined that, oh, we don't need it more on because that is a whole nother room nowhere near the kitchen. So that makes some sense to me. And so that is how we are currently working with the time of use adjustments. And we'll take a look at what it does at the beginning of next month to see what kind of effect it had. Hopefully the bill is broken down enough that I can make some adjustments from it. Take some lessons learned. I do know they're gonna have to break it down by each category of price, as well as what our solar system made and what our solar what we used of the solar that we gave to them, because they've done now, like I said, how it doesn't wind back the gas bill. Any electricity that you give them during the 4x rate goes into a bucket for that. And any electricity you make during the normal period goes into a bucket for that. And then they would be very confused if I managed to give them electricity during the low period, the quarter price, because as far as they know, I don't have any batteries that can feed them. As far as I know, I don't have any batteries that can feed them either, but they would have to categorize that as well, and they don't mix. So if you have, 20 4x hours that you sold them, they won't use it against the 2 normal price hours. And then, of course, like I said, if I give them any electricity in the middle of the night when the sun's not shining, they would probably send their inspectors over because that's not part of our agreement. Yeah. So that's where we are with time of use. And let's go through real quick. I saw some news articles that I opened when I was looking for that plug for the Tesla Semi, and I wanted to see if any of them were worth talking about for us. Let's go to this one. Cybertruck undergoes interior mod that many owners wanted. Which is what? Is that stock or is that the mod? Oh, okay. I see they made it more like the prototype. Yeah. Okay, whatever. Oh, it gives a small change that makes a big difference, though. What's that? Made a change nobody noticed. To be fair, nobody could have. Revealed by the program lead engineer that it was aimed towards simplifying manufacturing through a minor change in casting. Ah, so that would explain why they got the new crash test rating based on, they said, trucks made after April. So if they actually physically changed this structure after April, that would be why.
Mr. Green,
Yes.
long-time viewer, first-time a mutual friend of Diana 66,
Yeah.
mine, and apparently yours is in here right now.
Oh, hello. Nurse D. Good to see you.
Yeah.
Yeah. So Cybertruck is given top safety pick plus. It makes changes to vehicles routinely over the air and manufacturing. Westmoreland said what? Made a minor change in the casting for manufacturability in April. Ah, so that's why trucks in April. I didn't want to click on the link. Our internal testing shows no difference in crash test results, but IIHS only officially tested the latest version. Okay. So what he's saying is the reason that IIHS put the rating on trucks made after April is that's the one they tested. So Wes is saying that all the trucks should be fine, but because of the way they do it, you can only say, hey, this one gets that because this is the only one we tested. How crazy is it you can ask legitimate questions about Tesla on X and lead engineers for it reply with the answer? Tesla just does it better. Genuine question, what changed after April? That was a question we all had. I'm glad he asked it. And I'm glad that Wes answered it. Okay, so let's go back to here. So that means that, I was looking at what if we get an inventory truck later on? Do we have to care about when it was built? The answer is apparently not. The change is among the most subtle that can be made, but it makes a massive difference in manufacturing scalability. Internal testing shows no difference in crash test results. Okay. Share this tab instead. Close these 2 tabs, 3 tabs. There. We just looked at that and... All right, so this is the Cybercab massive bomb. And there's so much to this car that's not obvious on the surface, he says. We knew that. Ride-hailing service will enter production later this year. It was unveiled back in October 24. Among the major catalysts for company's growth, will enable autonomous ride-hailing. Just get to the point, please. Details are pretty face value. 1 to 2 passengers per ride at a time. Also have wireless charging. We knew that as well. A big hint that there is much more about the cab than we know, as post on X said. It's truly a piece of art. And there's so much more of this car is not obvious on the surface. You made an article about a tweet that told us nothing. Expected to enter production later this year. Sure, they're going to include a handful of things that... Literally, this is an article about nothing. Like, we knew that there would be stuff we didn't know. Sorry. I guess Joey had to get enough articles out that day. Okay. It said I made changes to the site and then asked me if I wanted to close it. And then it did it anyway. Tesla Supercharger Network delivered 6.7 terawatt hours in 2025. The network now exceeds 75,000 stalls globally and even supports non-Tesla vehicles across several key markets. So 6.7 terawatt hours. That must be coming from the quarterly report, and that is good to see. Because Because that explains why they're so tall. I was like, why are these so big? If they're the same ones as the trucks, then that puts them at a good middle size. Also means you don't have to put signs at a lot of the sites because everybody can see them. 6.7 terawatt hours of electricity vehicles worldwide. To celebrate its busy year, the official account shared an infographic showing Supercharger Network's growth from near zero in 2012 to this year's impressive milestone. I hope they put a scaling on it because in 2012 compared to today, woo, and they didn't even start till late 2012 either. Oh, whoa, 6.7 terawatts was just 2025? I thought that was like ever. That's incredible. Based on the graphic, Supercharger Network started in the mid-2010s, accelerated sharply after 19 when the Model 3 was going mainstream. Each year from 2020 onward showed significantly more energy delivery, with 2025's 4 quarters combining to the highest total yet at 6.7 terawatt hours. What's even more impressive to that is that in 2024, according to the report, that was all still dwarfed by what Tesla Energy put into the grid. So if they kept that trend up, then that entire 6.7 terawatt hours has been offset by the sun, sometimes multiple times. Because if the customer already was putting it in there. Oh, but this was just supercharging, though. The report normally includes all charging, not just the supercharging. Okay. Even better. So almost 7 terawatt hours. Don't sleep on me yet. 7 terawatt hours. Nice. Outside China, superchargers delivered more energy than all other fast chargers combined. That makes sense if you've seen the other systems. There we go. They were showing me a weird picture on the smart screen underneath me, and looks like it's an adapter cable of some sort, but it's really sleek looking. All right, so then finally, not finally, we're going back to the other one that I found from the other site. Norway finishes record-breaking 2025 with 96% of the new car sales as EVs. Where's my sound machine here? They deserve. Okay, that's the wrong one. They deserve one of these hand claps. Yeah, there you go. Good job, Norway. Yes. 97% pluggable. So a 40% jump over 2024. And the EV world leader in Europe is essentially wiping out gasoline and diesel cars from their new car market. After its final 2025 update, the Norwegian Road Traffic Information Council confirmed that 95.9% of all new vehicle sales in 2025 were electric. 17,550 new vehicles were registered in the country, a 40% jump over 2024. The jump can be attributed to changes in tax laws that will take effect over the next 2 years, which saw Norwegians rushing to buy vehicles in 2025. In 2026, the EV VAT exemption will be reduced from 500,000 NOK to just 300,000 NOK and fully phased out in 2027. And it makes sense. They're already meeting their goals, way ahead of schedule. Nobody likes to give us tax breaks, so the tax break is gone. For Tesla, Norway remains a key market on the continent as sales have slumped in other jurisdictions within the European market. In fact, Tesla secured its 5th straight title as the top car brand in the Scandinavian country with 34,385 vehicles registered, or 1 in every 5 cars on the road in Norway was a Model 3 or Model Y. Wow. The Model Y alone counted for 27,621 registrations, meaning that 15% of new vehicle sales were Tesla SUVs. 2026 will be a real test for Tesla and the rest of the EV market, the rest of the EV automakers that have seen Norway as a reliable and predictable market. The VAT changes will affect the final prices of vehicles, and this policy shift will shape the future of vehicles in Norway. However, how much of an effect remains a bit of a mystery for now. I still contend that this is probably going to be like England, where when you remove them after a little while, after the pull up has been absorbed by the market, then everybody will continue with the car that makes the least cost to operate. Just like we're going to see with corporate between shuttle vans and semi trucks and mining rigs, everything is going electric just because it makes sense financially. Starlink emerges as a candidate for U.S. Special Forces Operations Aircraft Communications. By David. Considering Starlink and Starshield terminals. Okay, so that was my only question on the headline was if they meant Starshield, but it looks like both Starlink and Starshield. So I guess Starshield for business and Starlink for like phoning home to the family. On the AC-130 Ghost Rider gunships. According to recent information published on sam.gov, AFSOC is assessing options to include ruggedized Starlink or Starshield terminals on the AC-130J platform. Heavily armed variant of the C-130J Hercules, set to provide armed close air support during critical missions. Goes without saying that secure and reliable communications on these missions can be the difference between success and failure, life and death. Starlink is one of the options being considered. Starshield, the encrypted version of the network, is built specifically for national security and defense. Since its launch, several Pentagon units have shown interest in the technology. Some of its attractions are the modular design and ability to scale quickly. However, the interest goes beyond basic connectivity. Command is looking at systems that can deliver secure global communications at a maximum data transfer speeds while reducing latency. And also, the birds running lower and them in the air, the latency is even further reduced than those of us terrestrial and seaborne beings. An ideal option will be removable terminals that allow them to be transferred to other C-130 aircraft variants for operational use or testing. Okay. I doubt there's any comments on this one. Yep, I didn't think so. All right, moving on. The lower orbit thing about the reduced space debris risk, is that in response to the one that burnt up, or is this an avoidance maneuver? Preparing to proactively reduce space debris and improve long-term safety of LEO, low Earth orbit, the aerospace company will lower thousands of Starlink satellites to a new operational altitude over the course of 2026. The statement shared on X, Vice President of Starlink Engineering confirmed that roughly 4,400 satellites currently operating around the 550 kilometers will be lowered to approximately 480 kilometers. This maneuver will affect nearly half of the active constellation and is being closely coordinated with regulators and other space operators and the United States Space Command to ensure safe execution. Yeah, because if suddenly 4,500 satellites just lower down over 20 kilometers, over 26, almost 100 kilometers, so about 60, 70 kilometers. They could confuse some stuff. The maneuver will affect lowering the satellites results in condensing Starlink orbits and will increase space safety in several ways and reduce latency. Starlink is lowering its orbits. The decision is closely tied to the natural solar cycle. As Earth approaches solar minimum, atmospheric density at higher altitudes decreases, allowing defunct satellites to linger in orbit for years longer than expected. At 550 kilometers, an uncontrolled satellite could remain in space for more than 4 years under low solar activity, according to Nichols. Okay, that makes sense. So previously, there would have been enough going on from just solar pressure and atmospheric interaction to catch them with drag and pull them down faster. But 4 years with a dead bird is not good. By lowering to 480, Starlink expects to achieve a dramatic improvement in deorbit timelines. Nichols noted that the shift would result in an 80% reduction in ballistic decay time, turning what could be a multi-year orbital persistence into a matter of months. In practical terms, failed satellites would clear themselves from orbit far more quickly, reducing the risk of long-term debris accumulation. Like I said, less littering, right? Another key factor is congestion. The 500 to 600 kilometer band has become one of the busiest regions in LEO, with multiple commercial constellations planning or already deploying spacecraft there. According to Nichols, the number of debris objects and planned satellite constellations is significantly lower below 500 kilometers, reducing the aggregate likelihood of collision. Because there's two things with this. It's harder to stay in the air at the lower speeds, and it's harder for the debris to stay there because the debris is not active, right? So it's more self-clearing, and your competitors don't want to be there because they got to put more fuel on to counter the effects, or they have to have a faster release cadence. So if you are already replacing your stuff all the time, then that could be an advantage for you, especially considering that you have the reduced latency. While Starlink satellites are designed with extremely high reliability, Nichols stated there are only 2 dead satellites among 9,000 in operation right now. The company is planning for worst-case scenarios. Lower orbits ensure that even rare failures result in rapid atmospheric reentry rather than years of uncontrolled drift. And if you guys remember, at the end of last month, there was a fresh bird that had a fuel tank rupture, and the fuel made a rocket, basically, an unplanned propulsive force, and it pushed the satellite, thankfully, closer to Earth rather than further out into space, and so it makes it that much more clearable. They've just won the company. Okay. A new Q4 energy storage record with 14.2 gigawatt hours deployed in Q4 of 2025. So these are the grid storage. Nice. Tesla Energy closed out 2025 with another milestone, 29% increase year over year. Caps their strongest year ever for stationary storage and reinforces the company's accelerating momentum in grid scale batteries. Q4 performance stands out not only as a quarterly record, but also as a key contributor to Tesla's broader energy growth strategy. Good on them. And now they've got the new version of the Megapack that will help out customers and them alike. Southwestern Railway brings Starlink Wi-Fi to UK passenger trains. So what's interesting on this one to me is a lot of train routes are covered in trees or surrounded by trees. And additionally, you've got tunnels. So does the Wi-Fi just go out? Or do they have terminals on each end of the train? Because then only the longest of tunnels would be a problem. Because if you configure your router to take the signal from 2 or 3 gateways and terminals, that would be really cool. Begin testing satellite power on board Wi-Fi on UK passenger trains running class 444 train between London and Waterloo, Portsmouth Harbour, and Weymouth. A route that passes through the New Forest, an area notorious for persistent mobile signal black spots, and by relying on satellites instead of ground-based cellular towers, the system is designed to deliver consistent coverage even in remote or heavily forested sections of the network. Okay. Early results. Starlink is working as advertised. The system has achieved coverage levels of up to 97% so far. Not bad. Okay. Cool. And so that was the Starlink. So we're going to stop sharing here. We talked about everything I had planned. Let me make sure I didn't actually put anything in the notebook, because I don't remember putting anything in the notebook. I want to thank everybody for your New Year wishes. And again, wish everybody else a New Year. Happy New Year. There's the notebook. And that was for December. Colorado Rockies. Oh, we talked about the Autoland last year. Yeah, last year, but last week. Autoland, autonomous driving. I do have an entry in the notebook. Let me see what it is. There's another Tesla story. Screen. Come on. Share screen. All right, so this one is for you guys with the new cars. Tesla might finally add an Apple Wallet car key support. So we saw this Apple partnered with BMW, and BMW made it seem like they're the first ones to let you use your phone as a key for your car, even though Tesla had been doing it for 2-3 years before BMW made their announcement. And the Chinese have also been doing it longer than BMW. And so it looks like, according to this report, Tesla may use the system in the car or in the phone, which would make it harder for them to break it for you, which has been a problem since the phone key came out, where they could break your phone key either by putting your app to sleep or just a lot of just invisible stuff that you don't see happening. And, Apple being Apple, trying to help you by hurting you. According to the new report from Non-Tesla app, the teardown of the latest mobile app 4.52.0 has uncovered code that references something called why did it cut off like that? That is so weird. Okay, so I made it bigger and it got better. Harmony mode, but now it's all reflowed. It reflowed. Seriously, let's see. Oh, Harmony for the Harmony OS in the Huawei's phone. Okay, that makes sense. The idea is straightforward, but allowing a Tesla key card to live directly inside the phone's system-level wallet rather than relying on the Tesla app to run in the background. It's commonly referred to as a native digital car key. One of the benefits of that, at least on some platforms, like Apple, if your phone is dead, it still can do its thing, which is pretty cool to see. iOS specifically, system-level integration will allow Tesla Key in your Apple Wallet to work even when your phone is powered off. Something that is not possible today. And while the Harmony wallet code seems tailored for China, Tesla has a history of rolling out features in its largest overseas market first, before expanding globally. And that's why this discovery has reunited speculation that Apple and Google Wallet support could finally be on Tesla's roadmap. That would be nice. Timing is hard to ignore. Just this month, Rivian rolled out a native digital key for Apple and Google as part of their latest update, announced alongside the upcoming Autonomy Plus driver assistance system, which, unlike Volvo, won't burn your phone cameras. A direct FSD competitor launching this year. Rivian's implementation uses the Car Connectivity Consortium standard, CCC, and includes perks like secure key sharing over iMessage, WhatsApp, Apple Watch support, and functionality that lasts hours after a phone battery dies. Tesla owners have been asking for this for years. And while Tesla's proprietary phone key is generally reliable, it still depends on an app running in the background, which not only sips battery, but could occasionally be throttled or killed by the operating systems to save power. A native wallet key would eliminate that entirely. Yeah, because if they know it's your car key, they're not going to accidentally close it in the background. You haven't used this app in a month. Yeah, not actively. The potential shift also fits a broader pattern. Tesla's reportedly finally exploring Apple's CarPlay support, and a previous update introduced Find My Style vehicle tracking, borrowing directly from Apple's ecosystem playbook. Speaking of that, I had the app open last night, and it looked like it was doing the ultra wideband thing, because as I moved the app around, the arrow in the app was pointing at my car until I pointed at the car, and then I don't know if it lost the signal or what, but it just went back to, hey, it's at this address. So that was really cool to see as well. All right, so that is the end of the notebook and everything. So let's stop sharing that. And yes, thank you for the show, Derek. And thank you, Derek, for helping out with some of the bills that run this show. I appreciate that. I want to thank all of our channel members for the same. And I want to thank everybody today for spending 2 hours with me this afternoon, this morning. And again, Happy New Year. And we'll catch you on the flip side. We'll see you on the Tesla Life Show 3 times this week. And right back here next week. Hopefully also on time, just like we were today. So catch you then. Greetings, Timothy. Good to see you as well. Thank you.